Lagos pays over 75,000 to its workforce. Some states cannot even afford to pay that. Why legislate a standard amount for each state? It may be detrimental to our affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for yielding the floor to me.
Thank you. One here. Let's hear you.
I've listened to the contributions, so far, and I have reservations. I think if we continue like this 1 week will expire and we will not settle these problems. We'll be talking about advice to labor. We are not talking about the solutions, to this problem. And from somebody from a labor background, I think we are not getting the point. See, even if we are in the side of law to say labor should not have conducted themselves, in this form, the labor man will tell you that if he's the one guiding or operating the national grid and he has not eaten, he has problems at home, you will not force him to sit down there and continue to work under essential, situations. So I want us to balance the ideas in both forms. My advice under this circumstance is that government should define their figure of minimum living wage to the Nigerian worker. They must define it. It's not just throwing 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, or 60,000. Whatever government is going to say on the figure, they should tell us how they arrived at that figure. Secondly, is that each time
Are you aware that there's a negotiation going on within these 5 years?
That is even the area I want to go to.
And are you also aware that we cannot stay here and speak for them on their behalf when they are not here?
That's why I'm saying solution.
So the solution is that there is a mechanism in place by the current government to engage with labor in the next 5 days.
Okay.
And that mechanism has been activated. All we are learning is our voice on how both parties, executive should listen to them, and then also should operate within the confines of the law that we have made. That is all our contribution should revolve around. And we have deliberated on this so much. So round up, I have one more.
Yes, just one last point. That's one last point. So I feared even the negotiations. Because those who are in requisite knowledge for negotiation. You see, each time you go to
how do you know?
Yes, I know. Because they are impatient.
How do you know? That is casting aspersion on those who are there.
That is the truth. That
the
is
leadership of the House and the leadership of the Senate were involved. Are you saying they don't know what is going on?
Mr. Speaker, we have very experienced labor leaders in this House. We also
you don't have to be a labor leader to involve in a negotiation.
It will help you. It will help you to understand, to negotiate with labor. It is not just a mere social engagement. These labor officers are experts to represent their people. So you must also have government people who know the nitty-gritty on negotiations to be able to get to a common point. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The minority leaders who have spoken to align myself with their positions, because if I don't speak on this topical issue, I'll be failing my constituents and the platform that brought me here. I want to say categorically that before now ourselves in frying pan, purely based on the first statement made by Mr. President that has snowballed into this very situation, which we found ourselves that we cannot control any longer. What am I saying, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues? That Nigerians today are crying hunger everywhere based on a simple statement of subsidy removal that has made the entire economy into serious confusion. Therefore, I have not seen an economy as a finance expert where depression and inflation go in opposite direction. By the time they jam themselves, we cannot manage what will come to this country. Depression and inflation go in parallel line. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, The people I will thank most specially is not the labor union or us. I'm thanking the entire Nigerians for their patience. For their patience. This may not happen in most of our neighboring countries, and we remain like this. I want to thank them for their patience, and I want to urge them to continue with this, their patience. And finally, those who are going into negotiation, who are in negotiation now, I want them to have a benchmark in their negotiation. And that benchmark, I'll suggest, the price of one bag of rice is 75,000 today. Let it be the list of negotiating, and now put into consideration school fees of individuals, family. Put into consideration medical aspect of families.
Round up, leader.
If you put those, and those of them who don't have houses of their own, and put it into, I don't want to stand here to say federal government will put their salary into it, but let price of bag of rice be a benchmark from where they will stand and negotiate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving.
The Republic of Nigeria, because even before the negotiation proper started for the minimum wage, there has been other palliative on the ground to alleviate the suffering of the Nigerian workers and the populace. Mr. Speaker, I just want to go quickly that the primary aim of any government, first is welfare, security. This is what is enshrined in the Constitution. And so I want to align myself with those who are of the opinion that this matter should be resolved as quickly as possible through every other means to ensure that we have a peaceful nation. Mr. Speaker, the law of Nigeria recognizes that as a person, you are entitled to one wife, 4 children, and then your mother and father. These are the things that you are entitled to take care, even in the tax relief or whatever. These are the indices and the factors given to us. And so by implication, you are supposed to have that minimum wage that will cater for this number of persons. And I want to say that, yes, women have tried in the past, women is trying now, but then we have to do a lot in order to cover the trenches. If you are to take the school fees of the 4 people that are aligned to you to pay their school fees as a laborer, and you have a 60 or 50,000, will it be okay? Will it take you home? If you are to take the cost of transportation to your own office, and if you are to consider the feeding opportunities they are supposed to get, and let alone take care of the health facility, this is not tenable. I want to appeal that, yes, we have done much, and I don't want those who are thinking that it is only Nigerian workers. One worker, by implication, have contact of more than 20 persons, if not 40, if not 50. And I'm saying, whatever you are giving to a Nigerian worker, one person, you are not giving to him. You are, by implication, giving the addition of the other people who are also online, who stand to benefit from what you are giving him. And I also want to say that whatever we are going to do should be tenable. Mr. Speaker, industries that have been closed down. I want to tell you that, but the various policies, which mean a lot, and they are meant to enhance our own living. The revenue that government is now generating, that is given to states and local government, which is not trickling down, and some of them are arguing that they don't have the money to pay. From the petroleum subsidy, the amount of money being generated, I believe the Nigerian worker is entitled and he should have the best of living so that he will give us his best in terms of contribution. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to believe that we have to wait for agitation to happen. Do not forget what happened during the NSAS. All of us, we are running helter-skelter, and this should not be allowed to happen before the right thing is being done. My take is that government should resolve this matter as quickly as possible, taking factors of what I have mentioned. I am sorry, I'm coming from the Labour background. I also have this party, and I want to say that what is going on now, yes, I appreciate Mr. President. He has given money a lot to the state governors and others. Today, some of them are celebrating their 1 year in office by just saying that they have given fertilizers to their people, not giving them good living conditions, not giving them infrastructure development, not giving them what is supposed to. Mr. Speaker, respect colleagues, I think we need to stand and speak right. This is the Nigerian Parliament, House of the People, that will speak for the people and for the people only, because they gave us this mandate. It's not by our qualification, by our status in terms of our society that we're here, but by their votes. And those votes mostly, largely, are canvassed. When we want to go for election, we look for the Nigerian Workers Forum to canvass with them. But now we are speaking for two sides of the mouth. I think it's not right. Mr. Speaker, respect colleagues, I want to say that Nigerian workers deserve a living wage that can carry home. Thank you very much. I so submit.
Thank you very much. Yusuf, you are the last, please. Make it brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yusuf Gagdi, Panshinkanke, Kanam Federal Constituency. First, Mr. Speaker, briefly, I commend you. This is an opportunity given to Nigerians to know, given to us, to tell Nigerians that we are either representing them or not representing them. Sir, I have tripartite approach to my submission because it is a known fact that the strength of every democracy world over is dependent on the capacity of its parliament or legislature, as the case may be, because the Constitution recognizes parliament, legislature as the first tier of government, arm of government, before the executive and the judiciary. The crafters of the Constitution, therefore, sir, have wisdom in identifying parliament, legislature as the first tier of government, because parliaments are supposed to be, like the Right Honorable Ahmed Idris was did mention, people's house, the representative of the people. But in as much as we are here to represent the people, our primary mandate again is to make laws for peace, order, and good governance. Mr. Speaker, we must be proactive. We should not only advise government, which I will do briefly, and advise Labour. As Parliament, we should equally advise ourselves. What the executive are doing, in my own opinion, they are carrying out the responsibility of the Parliament in the form of public hearings. The Trade Union Act is an establishment of the National Assembly. It is meant to be reviewed periodically. Why do we allow situation until the sector is being suffocated before we begin to blame one person or another? Whereas the Constitution of this country, the mandate of the people of this country, have empowered us to call that law periodically to checkmate it. Executive can call labor leaders at the round table, but sir, it is not enough. If you call public hearing, you will be inviting the entire stakeholders to negotiate on the subject matter of a living minimum wage. But when you allow executive to do the function of the parliament by refusing to amend the laws that are obsolete, that need to be adjusted at periodic level, we are bound to face these challenges. But be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, I am aware of two laws established by National Assembly: the Trade Union Act and the Trade Dispute Essential Service Act, particularly Section 2, which states clearly that you should not, trade unions should not engage in activities that suffocates or obstruct or disrupt the society, the prices of commodities in market, the standard living condition of the people is sympathetic. So it is very terrible. And here we are, fighting for trade union living condition. I agree, they constitute 13% of the population of this country. But go to equity with clean hands. Do not, in doing that, suffocate sectors like hospitals, where if it is not run, Nigerians will lose their lives. The primary responsibility of government is protecting the life and properties of its people. If the action of trade union, which is legitimate, negate those essential services, okay, I don't think they will be doing fair to the people of this country. Finally, sir, they should not give wrong information. I understand personally with the opinion of the trade union, but why will you go to media and say a salary of political office holders, National Assembly of that matter? I don't receive the money that they publish in the front pages of newspaper. In the name of advocating for your standard living condition, don't give wrong and lie information about institutions. Is done inside the public against. We are concerned about the trade union, but Mr. Speaker, we should be more concerned about the over 2 million Nigerian population who are suffering, 200 million who are suffering, who doesn't have food to eat,
Okay.
who cannot buy kerosene, who cannot pay school fees for their children, who doesn't have shelter to stay at home. We should remember, we must be proactive, hold that bill, adjust it, call for public hearing, stakeholders should consider
Thank
that
you.
bill. If we have done our job, federal government will not be doing what they are doing now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I think we've had enough on this. I'm just going to put a question here today. So I put the question, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the rehabilitation of roads, houses and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the civil war, as well as tackle the ecological problems and other related matters and development challenges in the Southeast, and for related matters. This is standing in the name of Honorable Kingsley Chinda. Honorable Chinda is invited to present the report.
I rise to pray that this House do receive the report of the Conference Committee on a bill for an act to establish the Southeast Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of civil war, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast states, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Chinda. Please, Honorable Bamidele.